Hello, my name is Danish Maqbool, and I would put Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan in my Immigrant jam. You don't know what that is?
No, but it's so funny.
He's a classic.
The whole thing was hilarious. Okay, well, welcome all you people out there, beautiful people all around the world listening. What are you doing right now? Cutting your toenails, driving, picking your nose, cooking dinner, making your sweetheart an apple pie. Who knows what you're doing? Thank you for being here. I'm Lucie, your host. I'm so excited and I just can't hide it because my guest today is the funniest, the best, the tallest. He has a set coming out for Don't Tell, or, well, by the time that you are listening to this, it'll be out already, so go check it out. And please put your hands together. Welcome the amazing Mr. Danish Maqbool.
Wow. Thanks, Lucie.
Do you care to explain to the listeners who don't know who you're putting in your Immigrant jam?
All right. Do you know Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan?
Yes.
He is just like, all right, so he makes these traditional, what they call qawwalis. And so they're like religious jams, but he's really
So
a poet.
I used to have, back in the days, because that's how old I am, where one would make mixed tapes and mix CDs. I always had one of his songs on there.
Yeah?
I don't know what it's called, though.
Bro, he goes so hard. He's the first Pakistani to work with Michael Jackson.
Oh.
And that didn't age
Is it also the last Pakistani to work with?
Yeah, probably.
The first and the last.
And the last. And that's not what he should. He was amazing. Beyond that, you know what I mean? He really.
My mom is a singer, and she's the one that put us on to him.
Yeah, of course. So then you know. Yeah, all singers they know. They pay respect.
Insane.
I was banging him on the way because I knew I was gonna say that.
Oh, listening to him.
Yeah.
Not like having sex with him.
No, he's passed. You know, that would be crazy.
Maybe in your head.
No, comedians are sick people, but that would be. I should be in a hospital.
Be too much?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I think that's too much.
That's too much. Even if it's just imagine.
I'm a father to be.
You're a father to be, exactly.
Yeah, thank you.
When is it coming?
April.
April what?
April 26th, they're saying.
Amazing. April babies are the best babies. Look at me.
Yeah. Yeah. April what?
15th. Tax day.
And that makes you
Aries. Your son's going to be a Taurus.
So in like 3 days, you would have been a Taurus.
In like, I think it's the 20th, isn't it?
I don't know.
I think so.
But I've been hearing a lot about this when I've been telling people.
I'm seeing this guy who's into astrology, which is so weird because usually it's women who are into astrology.
Whoa.
And he told me I'm an Aries Taurus.
Why? Because there's like
because of the time I was born and all that. Do you believe in that stuff?
You know, I believe in Year of the Dragon.
Because you're one.
Yeah, and I feel like a dragon out here, son. I do think that some of these things could help define your personality. I think I've looked at like Sagittarius, and that's what I am. And
that's what you are?
Yeah, very confident. You know,
Are you very confident? You're actually confident, or you're just able to project that you're confident?
No, I'm overly confident.
Wow, what does that feel like? You just don't feel phased when you go into a room and stuff?
No, there are moments that are big and I want to rise up to the occasion. It does feel weird because you're doing stand-up and you're around a bunch of comedians who are like insecure a lot of the time.
Yeah, exactly.
And I don't suffer from that as much. I go through bouts of it and it comes like really hard.
But so when you bomb, for example, that doesn't.
Yeah, and no, I do go through bouts.
Okay.
But generally, I feel very confident. Even
and
if
where do you think that comes from? You think that's because you're a Sagittarius, or is it something that your parents instilled in you?
I don't know. My dad is very confident. He's a very smart dude and was able to like do a lot. He could build anything with his hands, you know. We never hired anybody to do anything. it was like it was
That's
on
hot.
us. Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
You know.
No, it is.
Yeah.
I feel like men these days can't do shit anymore.
Exactly.
They can't build anything. They can't make money. They can't fuck. They can't.
Yeah, I
for
wonder
real,
if
you
they
know?
were better fuckers back in the day.
I think they were better fuckers back in the day.
Yeah, he's an OG, you know, to the point like he took my mom and him. That's so funny when I said he took her because that's how much of a man he is. Of course, he took her somewhere, you know, but
right,
yeah.
Mhm.
But they went to Russia
Yeah.
like a few years ago. And when he was there with my mom, he just started speaking Russian.
What?
And my mom's like, "What the fuck? You know Russian?" And then he's like, "Yeah, I lived here.
What?
I lived here for 2 years and I learned Russian."
How long had they been together at that
They've
point?
been together for like 35, 40 years.
And she never knew this?
No, 45 years.
You know what?
She never knew
Respect
this.
to your dad. You know what? I think this is the new thing that you got to do in relationships. You got to keep little nuggets about yourself that you like reveal as time goes on. Don't shoot all of it out. You know what I mean?
I think that we're thinking of that in like, he never even thought of that. That was just his natural way of moving.
Yeah,
you know, but yeah, now we're like, yo, we gotta be mysterious. So now I gotta hold some things. You know, it's still the
But
same
he
vibe.
never mentioned to your mom that
No,
he lived in Russia?
It's yeah,
That's
and
wild.
it's wild.
That's wild.
It is wild, and that's the type
Nobody
of,
in the family knew that he lived in Russia?
nobody in the family knew.
Do you think he was a spy? Wait,
know,
first
I've
of all,
thought about-
where are your parents from?
From Pakistan,
Right.
You know, my dad grew up very poor, like they call it the gully, you know, and it's like like I went there once when I was like 11, and it's been turned into a military compound mostly, but there's still the village part a little bit. And I
Where
went
is
into it's in Dadki in
Okay.
Pakistan. It's not really close to anything. It's the hood. And you could see like when I went, I don't know if it's still like this, 20 years ago, it's like open sewage on the floor. So, you know, if you took a shit, you could follow it all the way. You know what I mean? If you just ran outside after you finished, you know what I mean?
You can follow it and watch it go through middle and high school, get a college degree, get married.
Yeah, it's the hood like that, you know, where your shit grows up before you do. You know? It's crazy, you know.
Oh,
And so that's where he came from. He won like the lottery to come to America.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, and so he won that in like 1967. He won it, and then he came in 71. Yeah, and so, you know, and my
With
dad,
$1 and a dream, basically.
yeah, straight up, and he sounds Italian. My dad, you know?
Really?
Yeah. He sounds more. His English sounds more English than mine. You know, he's just
Wow.
a really smart guy. He traveled the world. He was working with the Navy for a long time. He was a cook on board, and he was building ships. Yeah, he's been to every like country that's not landlocked in the world.
That's
You know,
wild.
yeah. When I was growing up, I would see like different T-shirts from like Ghana, from every country, and I'd be
That's so
like,
cool.
they'd be so torn. You know what I mean? And I would, why are you keeping these? He's like, all right, don't worry about it. You know?
Wow.
Yeah, he's lived such an interesting life, and you know, like I'm telling you, like super smart dude, you know, but really practical. They don't make him like that anymore. And so he had like a few jobs. He was living in Manhattan, you know, in the 80s. He had a few cool jobs. In 1972, he had this shipbuilding company with his best friend. And he
So
had,
a year after he got
yeah,
here?
a year after he got here.
What?
That's
That's
basically
wild.
how he kind of got here. It's like my business. I'm going to build a business in America, right? So he built this big shipbuilding company, and then they like sold it in 1974 for like $500,000.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's like, what do you think? Like 20 million now? 50 million?
It's a lot of money. So then
Wow.
So then it's his best friend that he had the company with. So then his best friend was like, yo, I'm going to go collect the money overseas. You stay back.
No,
And
don't
then,
say it.
yeah, so he disappeared, and my dad spent mad money trying to look for him. So then he never found him.
And that's when he went to Russia.
yeah, straight up. That might have been when he learned Russian. I don't know. But, this is before he's married. They got married in like.
But they met here, or they already knew each other?
Yeah, they
from
got
back
no. They didn't know each other. The arranged marriage, 1975.
She was in
She's
Pakistan?
yeah, she's back there. This is like straight up. She could come to America. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And like he's seen her pictures. She's beautiful type thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's the vibe.
Right.
So then he sold this company. It got fucked up. But then he got a job. He's a smart guy, a lot of trade skills. And then he got like another job, in 1990. And he like interviewed for 6 months, like working at like a nuclear power plant. He was going to work at a nuclear power plant. Yeah, and it was for like $300,000 a year.
Okay,
I think it was 250, 300, something like that. It was a lot of money.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
He's a union guy at this point. He's been working really hard. My dad.
Sorry, I'm just laughing because it sounds like you're gonna be like, he's won 4 Olympic medals.
No, it's just he's like working hard. You know what I mean? Providing for his family. I'm 1 year old. My brother and sister are like 8, 9 years old. He gets this big job. Life is about to change. You know what I mean? And then, like 2 days before the job started, they called him and they were like, "Yo, no one that was born in Pakistan could work in a nuclear power plant in America," which is still a rule, by the way.
That's a rule?
Yeah, it's still a rule.
Why?
And I don't know. It's the same reason why people born in Pakistan can't go to India. It's just like politics.
I know, but what is the reason that they use? I guess
I think it's trade secrets.
Trade secrets, yeah, exactly, yeah.
Yeah, so they probably
That's
believed he
so
was some sort of spy. So, which the Russian thing probably doesn't help.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then he just got a job as like a boiler room supervisor, making like $26 an hour, like the next week, and that was his job. He still works. My dad is 74, still working.
That's such a crazy story.
Yeah, works hard, is still hilarious. You know what I mean? It's like, yo, you've been through all that, and you still hilarious.
Well, or maybe that's why he's so hilarious, My grandma used to always say, my grandma had to wear the yellow star, was like, like persecuted, whatever. But she always used to say, if things go too smoothly in life, you get dull.
Yeah.
I always think about that. And how about the marriage? Like, they're still together, right?
Of course. It's like one of the few, we got lucky. It's like it's the example of an arranged marriage, of how it could go right. They're very much in love. It's been dedication by each other, the whole marriage. You know what I mean? They stood by each other through tough times. They have tough personal things. They had tough, obviously, professional shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're very happy. They travel the world,
Did you grow up knowing all this about your dad? And like, did you grow up with that like awareness of the hard work and of, all the trials and tribulations your dad went through? Or is that something that you learned later in life?
He would always kind of show me that the world wasn't fair, and like you got to really fight and be capable. So I would learn these lessons pretty early. Like the first movie I ever went to was Malcolm X at 4. Which is crazy, you know what I mean?
What? That's why? Because he took you?
Yeah, he took the whole family. We all went.
He's like, everybody's going to have to learn this fucking lesson sooner or later.
Yeah, we were all about like,
right.
He went to a fight of Muhammad Ali's when he was younger. He was a huge Muhammad Ali fan, Malcolm X fan, and so he would put us on. So like, yeah, I felt like we were not in the right spot that we should be in, because it's like, bro, you're such a smart dude. You know, I know you built a lot, but it looks like you could have built castles out here. But he never was like bitter towards that, you know? Like he never let that seep in like, yo, I went through all this. You know, he never put his bullshit on me.
Yeah.
You know, like he really wanted me to like go live my dreams and like be my own person, live my own life. He was, he would say that so much, like go live your own life.
He wanted you to be gay.
Yeah, I don't know what he wanted, bro. I still think about that shit, you know?
You're like, Dad, I'm not gay. He's like, son, it's okay. You're like, I am not gay.
But I do think he thought I was different.
Right.
Right? Like,
right.
I do think, because I was like getting like really, you know, those standardized tests you would take. Like I would score at the top of the class, but my grades would be like towards the bottom, you know?
Yeah.
And he'd be like, yo, you just gotta pursue what you want. You'll figure it out.
So you started early on. You were like a gamer, right?
Yeah. I was a big gamer. I was playing Halo.
Professionally?
Yeah. I was playing Halo. And
which means what? Like, were you going off to places, or were
you know, I would win most of my money locally, and there were kids better than me locally, like a few kids that were still better than me locally, and they were like my good friends at the time. And
but were you nerdy? Because you're not nerdy right now.
No, I wasn't.
Tommy's laughing because they've known each other for a long time, right? And I'm guessing that you have memories.
Yeah, I don't know if I was ever. You know, I would say dynamic. You know, like I have the nerd in me for sure, but I also, like my brother, the first album I ever heard was like 36 Chambers by Wu-Tang. And like, you know, and like, so there was a dynamic.
Yeah. And also the thing is that like nerd just really means passionate about something.
Yeah, I got really passionate, and Halo was really cool, and the kids you would meet were really cool. They were kind of like-minded. Not a lot of us were nerds like that, and some of us were, and we accepted them, you know, and I'm glad I was friends with nerds. You know, I got put on to a lot of shit. Bro, they told me about Bitcoin when it was like $10. If I had listened, you know, a lot of them made money, bro.
Listen.
Yeah, a lot of them made money.
Were you embarrassed of like your immigrant parents and stuff growing up? Or did you grow up around a lot of immigrants? You grew up in Jersey?
Yeah, we lived in Jersey, which my town is like all brown people now, but it wasn't that way. We were like one of 4 brown families in the town. Okay. So it was different, and yeah, you felt like persecuted. I got bullied a lot as a kid, and I think that helped me become like funny. I even got bullied in like the Halo community, but I was funny already, and then that's why everybody was like cool with me. I became popular very quickly. Right. You know? So, you know, I just learned how to use this thing as a tool, the thing to be different. My name is Danish, it's spelled Danish. It was like a barrier for many, you know? It's like they couldn't get past that. And at some point you don't feel bad for yourself, you feel bad for others. You know, I'm like, man, you are limited. You know, your whole shit is limited.
So you're saying like you never had like it did fuck with you for a time, probably.
I think with girls, I never got attention from like white girls. You know what I mean? Ever. I just felt like too different. And
you hated it? Did you like hate
I think at that point I probably yearned their attention. You know, I remember when this one kid Duvall was dating this Italian girl, and I was so proud of him. You know, I was so proud, bro. Yeah, Duvall was dating Liz, and it was like I was like, man, I want to be like Duvall. You know.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I just never got like. You know, it was like every time it happened, it felt barrier breaking back then.
Isn't that wild? Isn't that fucking crazy? Because that was what, in like the early 2000s?
Yeah, that was the early 2000s. You know, 9/11 did definitely like change a lot, like our vibe. And it made us like less approachable, which I think is like most of my friends were black people in high school because you just felt kind of on the outside in a way, and then they could definitely relate. And then so it's like you would kind of bond over that,
Yeah, of course.
And so, yeah, I think that's when people like think about your existence, how you become the person that you are. It's like,
are you thinking about that now that you're gonna have a kid? Like how you're gonna raise him? What like aspects of the culture you're gonna
oh my God,
give him to? That must be wild to think about all that.
Yeah, it's a game. I think like just like gaming was, just like comedy is. It's
What,
like you get to
parenting?
like build a kid. It's
I love that. It's a game. Yeah, why not? You could look at it like that.
I gamify everything. It's like fun for me. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm scared because I was raised in the suburbs and I never raised a city kid. It seems like a wild jungle experience.
Oh, it's great though. I grew up here, and I think that I think it's great for kids to grow up in cities because you just learn to, you learn shit earlier on.
What was your like favorite activity that you did that you don't think a kid in the suburbs would do?
Sitting on stoops and like watching people go by, walking around. That's what we would do. Of course, obviously also like before 18 and 21, you couldn't go anywhere. You could go to like cafes or you could but you couldn't go to clubs, you couldn't go to bars. So like as teenagers and stuff like that, we would just walk around, we would sit on stoops, we would hang out outside, on the street.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't know.
I already started
like
thinking
that.
about the drugs, you know what I mean? Are you smoking pot, buddy?
Well, now it's legal. You can't tell them not to smoke fucking pot, especially not when you're blazing like it's fucking.
I know, but I did wait till I was like 19.
To smoke weed?
Yeah.
Look,
I smoked a few times in my teens, and then I waited.
Yeah, but why? Because you thought your dad would kill you if you'd smoke?
No, I just wanted my brain to develop.
Exactly.
I really did think about that. I didn't want to fuck up my life. I saw how other people start smoking at a very young age.
Right. But that's part of also your parents. I think like if your parents trust you and if you grow up with that and you don't grow up with this like notion in your head that like you don't know anything and you're a fuck up and you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Then you gravitate towards. I was a very calm kid too. And like my parents were wild. Like I didn't really drink. I smoked weed when I was like 15, 16, but I wasn't like a party kid. And I think it's because my parents pretty much let me do whatever I wanted to do. And I could smoke weed at home if I wanted to at like 16. And so
yeah, I was just thinking, am I gonna be the parent that like he brings his friends over to smoke weed with?
By the time he's 16, there's
I will
not gonna
beat
be
his
weed.
ass, bro.
There's not gonna be weed anyway. By the time he's 16, it's gonna be like fucking all in these microchips.
Yeah, that's true. He's gonna just be wanting to learn like jujitsu in the afternoon with a chip in his head.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, in like virtual reality or some shit.
Yeah, I was definitely scared. I'm sure it puts in perspective how scared our parents were when they had us.
Right.
For the future.
Right.
Because shit was ever changing, just like today.
But do you think that our parents were that scared of the future as we are? I feel like now future fear is more prevalent than for our parents' generation. Because our parents' generation was like the post-war generation that was rebuilding everything.
Yeah, that's true.
And it felt like there was a lot of opportunity in the world. And
I think there still feels, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of opportunity.
For sure, but we are haunted by this like constant climate change and nuclear war and
But they were coming off like the generation before was killed.
Yeah.
They still had trauma of like, yo, could this happen again?
That's true, but they were rebuilding. I feel like that generation,
Yeah.
was more optimistic in a way.
Yeah, I think they probably had to be.
And also, that generation, nobody was questioning whether they were going to have kids or not.
Everybody
had
kids.
kids.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? You weren't like,
it wasn't as expensive to live.
Be a parent. Exactly.
No,
and I don't know
true.
what my place in life is, and I want to be ethically non-monogamous. No, shut the fuck up. You committed to someone, and then
Well,
You got a family.
for sure, capitalism is making things very scary because we were just playing a game of Monopoly the whole time,
Right.
and eventually one person is gonna have all the money, and then it's like, is universal income the answer? Because
I
if
think it
somebody's
might be.
giving you $1,500, they definitely not giving it to you for free. They definitely got a right. It's like, yo, if
Okay.
you don't step with your right foot, we not giving you the money type shit. It's like, I don't want anybody,
That's
you know.
true. That's
So
true.
it does get
That's
very,
true.
it's like, what's the answer? It doesn't seem like there is going to be an answer unless like Jeff Bezos just decides to help us out. You know, that's literally the only answer. It's like we're waiting on one guy to be like, all right, guys, fine, I will save the planet. Until then, we're like really kind of fucked. You know, there's no other system that we could go to that works. This is the only one that has like unlimited amount of freedom, but that comes with like, you know, a deadly cost. You're seeing it now,
Yeah.
you know? And so it's like, I don't know what the answer is, bro.
But also, I feel like I don't like it when people say we're destroying the planet, because I feel like we're not destroying the planet. We're destroying like our ability to live here. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like the planet is a big fat rock and it's gonna float through space till eternity or until whatever. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
But us, can we live here anymore? You know, probably not. If it's too hot or too fucking windy or whatever the fuck, or everybody's eating each other because they have no food or whatever. So I think that in a way, like we probably have an expiration date as a species. Are you too high for this conversation?
No, it is very sad, you know.
Is it though?
You
You
know,
know what? I don't think it is.
I put it in God. That's when I find God whenever I get
Yeah,
to these
right.
questions.
Uh-huh.
Whenever the questions get too deep, I just start praying.
Allah comes in.
Yeah, there you are, Allah. There you are. Give me the answers. And then I have like a homie who's a comic. He's basically my big brother. It's Koi Pion Rami and Mo Azhar Usman. He's from Chicago. And he like knows, they call them hadiths in the Quran, you know, like little basically messages. And I'll be like, yo man, I'm going through this question, like what's a hadith, like, because this question has been answered before, you know, because I can't retain this information.
Right.
My brain is just not capable, but his is, so I'll always hit him up.
That's great.
So after this, I'm gonna call him.
I spun you into existential
No, I'm just gonna be like, no,
crisis.
it's a good question, and then he'll quote something.
What will be the question you'll ask?
I'll be like, man, like the end of the species coming. What's if it comes at just like a moment? You know, what does that look like? Like, what if a meteor hits us?
Right.
You know, because in
Do you
Islam,
think that it's real? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, Islam, they want everybody to become Muslim on the Day of Judgment. You know, this
That'd
is
be funny if everybody
yeah,
just
everybody.
becomes Muslim.
Yeah, I have so many friends in my life where I'm like, I know they're atheists, but you know, if they're ever on their deathbed, I'm around them. I'm just gonna have them take the shahada just in case. You know what I mean?
Do you
Why
think
not?
the hadiths, is that how you say it? Hadiths,
Yeah.
are real, or do you think he makes them up?
No, his brain is amazing.
Wouldn't it be funny if he made them up?
If it
Though?
was yeah, he would be more talented if he was making them up.
And he's like, hold on a second. Here we go again. Yeah, for this one, it
Yeah.
says
It does sound like, 'cause you're
kiss
like-
a black sheep 3 times.
You're like, oh, so let me get this straight. You're hitting up a writer. I see how you got to this, and I
And
agree.
weirdly, all he asks is that I Venmo him $100 every time he gives me a hadith, you know?
It's looking suspect now that just like my dad, who's the spy. A lot of answers are being told today. The immigrant experience is a very, ebb and flows.
Yeah, it's a roller coaster.
Roller coaster.
Yeah. Did you grow up speaking
Urdu?
Urdu? Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. I still speak Urdu, although it's much choppier now. My
What do you
dad
think? Yeah.
speaks Punjabi too,
Uh-huh.
and like Pashto and
Russian.
Russian.
Yeah.
He
And
speaks a bunch of
probably
languages. Yeah.
Chinese too. We'll find
Yeah.
out in 10 years.
Yeah. we would go to Six Flags, right? And we would be in line with like a different culture, and he would just start saying hello in that culture to them.
I love that.
I grew up with this
I love
guy.
your dad.
Yeah.
He's the man.
My mom's amazing too. I haven't shout her out, but yeah, she's amazing.
Shout out to Danish's mom. What do you think is like different about the way you express yourself when you speak Urdu? Is there any difference?
Yeah,
It's a poetic language.
It's a much
probably,
more
right?
poetic language. It's so beautiful. Some of my favorite authors, like I found this author, man, Mohsin Hamid. He made he wrote a book like Reluctant Fundamentalist a while ago. Then this recent one called Exit West.
That's a contemporary writer?
Yeah, he's a contemporary. He writes in English. He went to Princeton, but he's from Pakistan.
Reluctant Fundamentalist?
Yeah,
Huh,
yeah.
that's
Riz
a cool
Ahmed
title.
Riz Ahmed made a movie with it.
Oh,
Liev
really?
Schreiber was in it. Yeah,
I love Riz Ahmed.
I love Liev Schreiber too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like that's my guy,
Liev Schreiber is?
Yeah,
Riz
because-
Ahmed is my guy. I love
Yeah.
that guy. I think he's such a good actor.
I mean, he's amazing.
And also, he's definitely also,
So
a cute-
beautiful. Yeah,
he's so hot.
he's cool as shit.
Yeah, he's cool as shit. And he raps too.
Yeah, and
What the fuck?
and his raps are cool.
What the hell? Yeah, and it's
His
not even
music
bad
video
rap.
this
Yeah,
music video
it's
that he
good
made was
rap.
cool as shit.
Yeah.
He's
cool as
like
shit.
punk rock.
Yeah.
But Liev Schreiber does the voice of Hard Knocks, which is a football documentary thing they do every year, and he knocks it out of the park.
What do you mean a football documentary thing?
It's like every year they follow a different team
Football
during
or
training
soccer?
camp, like American football.
Okay.
And he's legendary.
I waited on him once when I was waiting tables like 10 years ago.
Was he the nicest, coolest guy?
He was the nicest guy. He tipped really well.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's Liev. That's Liev, bro.
That's Lee for you.
I know him like that.
That's amazing.
Oh.
Are you gonna teach your son Urdu?
My wife is half Egyptian, half Puerto Rican. She speaks.
What the fuck? That's an insane combination.
Yeah, it is.
You can't fuck with her at all.
No, she's tough.
She'll rip your head off.
She's a tough woman.
Yeah, I'm
If,
sure.
if I ever beat her in an argument, it takes a day. Takes a whole day.
Wait, did she grow up in New York?
No, she grew up in New Jersey. We both
Half
did.
Egyptian,
Same town.
half Puerto Rican. That's so
Yeah.
wild.
So she speaks Spanish. She understands Arabic, and I speak Urdu. It's tough, I want the kid to be a master of English. I mean, I do stand up, I do want him to know Urdu because it's so poetic. Spanish is like the language of the everybody.
Of the cool people.
Yeah,
for
for sure.
Of the fun people.
And then Arabic is just like, it's beautiful, it's tough to learn, A lot of people speak it. It's the language of our people.
Right. Of the religion too.
Of the religion.
Yeah.
So this kid's got a lot on his plate, for sure. For sure.
All I can say is I think any language that you can gift a kid is the best thing ever. Like any language you don't have to learn as an adult that you can just have in your back pocket from being a kid, I think is like worth more than anything else in life.
Yeah, I agree with you. I would love if the kid learned Urdu. Oh my God. I think it's done me a lot in terms of my looking at the world,
How do you mean?
I just think because the language is so beautiful, it's made me so soft as a person and so loving and caring.
Huh.
Yeah, it's like I care a lot about people.
And you think that's the language?
Yeah, I think I think it has a lot to do with the language. Yeah, and the people.
I believe in that so much.
Yeah.
I think language really says everything about the mentality of the culture and the way people think and interact with each other. So, yeah.
Yeah, and we know
believe
English
that.
is the language of the conqueror, It's like, of course, I want this kid to have conquer vibes. It's a tough world out here.
Conquer.
Yeah, I
vibes.
want him to do as much as he can and make as much,
But I think also like identity, it's a big thing. Like my mom is Romanian and she never taught us Romanian, and my grandma had a thick accent. when speaking, and my mom is a singer and sings in Romanian, and it's always been like kind of a sad disconnect for me because it's part of my identity, but I feel like because I don't speak the language, I can't access it, and I can't. And I meet Romanians, and I'm like, oh, I'm Romanian, but then I can't, really connect to that part of myself. So I think that that's also an important part of it because that's going to be part of your kid's identity.
And they judge you for that.
But not even that. I don't even care so much about them. Yeah, they probably judge you for that, but I don't even care so much about
it doesn't
them
matter,
judging
but
you.
it's just like,
but it's like you feel like, oh man, like I can't talk to my people.
So you get judged, right? You feel judged. You start separating from this culture, and it's a vicious cycle, which is that is exactly why.
And then you blow up the Twin Towers.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. But,
you
do some wild shit.
Yeah.
No, I don't know if I separate from the culture, but I just think like it's sad when you can't access that, and like the language holds all the keys to the like identity, I think.
Yeah,
to
it
the
does.
Cultural identity,
It does, and different languages have different values.
Exactly.
I don't think the language of Urdu praises capitalism and just like I want everything as much as this language does. Even, which is like, that's kind of a weird thing to say.
No,
but yeah, I think it's
that's
true.
100% true. I have a whole bit about German words because, like, the German word for nipple is Brustwarze, which is two words put together to make one word. And Brust means breast, but Warze means wart, breast wart. So now, like, you can imagine, like, sexuality and, like, body, like, breast wart is what you call a nipple. Like, what does that do to the fucking mentality of the people around?
Yeah, it's probably a lot colder,
Yeah, exactly.
I don't even know how to say nipple in Urdu. They never show that,
It's probably like grape of the.
They just like point at it.
They don't have a word for it. They're like, it's that thing. That.
Yeah.
It's so
just
poetic.
Shameful,
It's such a poetic language.
Yeah, it is. But there's a lot of issues over there too of like and they're figuring it out how to like not be so sexually oppressive that it comes out in other ways, finding the balance.
Yeah.
It's the first country he kind of founded on a religion. So it has its problems, it was in 42, which is, that's right before a few other countries were founded on,
Right.
So, and my dad was born in that time when Pakistan was being formed,
Right.
So we very much have those values, but every day he looks at the news and he's like, fuck Pakistan. It's
Really?
like, because we've never had a prime minister that finished its term.
Wow.
Yeah,
really?
not one time. It's like, it's very disheartening what the people have done. People in power have done to their people all over the world.
All over the
we're
world.
seeing it in every single country.
100%. Yeah.
If we want something, they don't listen. Even in the most developed country in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like we see what's happening right now. You see hundreds of thousands of people outside.
Yeah, and they don't
protesting, and they don't give a fuck.
Nothing. It changes
It's like,
zero.
How many hundreds of thousands of people have ever gotten together to do anything, bro?
Right.
It's
Except
like
go to a Bruce Springsteen concert.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
And so I just, it's very disheartening.
Yeah.
When you see like,
but that's why you gotta. I think like you can only make changes on like the local level, in your own community.
Yeah, you gotta build community.
Yeah, exactly.
You gotta build strong community. I think we've done that here. We have so many friends here in New York doing stand up.
Right, and exactly as like comics, we can I'm not saying change people's minds, but we do get up on stage and get to say things out loud in front of people.
Yeah,
so,
I've been talking shit every night.
Yeah.
It's and my boy told me about this bit that James Acaster did. You know who that is?
Yeah, of
He's
course.
a very funny guy, and my boy's a big fan of his. So he was telling me about like this bit he did like about you know, he was talking about how like he wanted to like he was having dark thoughts, and then he was like, yeah, but don't worry, I'm like not talking to y'all right now and not have like processed through it. You know, I would never talk
Right.
about this with y'all.
Yeah.
You know, I went
Right.
to a therapist. I don't trust you guys.
Right.
You know, so sometimes I think when like you're talking shit, you need to process it
Oh, for
first.
sure.
You know, which is I've been doing a lot of that, and then I've been trying to, you know, so
Look at you.
Yeah.
You're an evolved immigrant kid. You
Yeah.
process your feelings and your thoughts.
yeah, there you go.
That's some
You
shit.
know,
That's the
Always
American
learning.
dream.
yeah, it is. It is the American dream. I am definitely living the American dream,
Yeah.
and I recognize that every day.
Yeah.
You know,
That's beautiful.
yeah, it is very beautiful, and I think my wife recognizes that too. We both are like happy, although she's like working a 9-to-5 job, and it's like I think she would rather not do
Well,
that.
she's gonna be home for a while with the baby.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think it's time to play a little game.
What's the game?
Oh wait! Before we play the game, did you grow up with any like idioms or proverbs or anything like that?
Yeah, probably Firimutera
Ferimutera.
means fuck your face. My dad would say that to me all the time. Firimutera.
That's not an idiom.
No, that's not an idiom.
Fuck your face.
Yeah, fuck
When would
it.
he say that to you?
He would just whatever. I
And then he'd
did
go like
something
this?
like hilarious, you know?
Oh, okay.
yeah,
It's a
yeah,
joke.
it's a joke. Yeah.
I love that.
Firimutera, you know?
And go like
yeah, I'm in
It's
your
funny
face,
because the
yeah.
Greeks have a similar hand gesture. They go
Yeah?
like this.
Yeah?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I like the the
The
fake.
throw is funny. Ferimutera.
Yeah.
Are you gonna pass that on to your son?
Yeah, for sure.
Were you psyched that you're having a son?
You know, we both wanted a girl. My
Oh,
mom
really?
never had my mom, she, you know, we have 3 nephews now. My sister has a kid.
Well, hold on. Let's let them choose for themselves.
Yeah.
You
well,
don't know.
you know, it's they're young, you know.
You never know.
So far it's 3 boys. You know, I had somebody else tell me that when I told them my baby's gender. Because I thought they were asking like I thought they were asking what the gender was of the baby. And I didn't, you know, you get caught up in conversation. I was like, oh, it's a boy. And then he was like, oh, you don't know that yet.
But he was being for real?
But he was being for real.
So funny. That's
and then,
so
and then
funny.
instantly I just put a MAGA hat on. And I started going. I started seething. No. No, I didn't do that. I told my wife about it and we were laughing. And also, I think it is somewhat the appropriate. I think that they probably are right that, you know, anything we can do, any progressive movement that we can do to get rid of gender reveal parties, you know, I think is the
When
right
did
way.
that even become a thing?
Yeah, because
That's
we
only
had
a
one.
brief thing, isn't it? Oh, you had one?
Yeah.
What? You had one?
Yeah, we had one, bro.
What the fuck? Why?
Oh no, man.
What happened? Was it with a balloon? How'd you do it?
No, it was like a pumpkin and like it's like a pumpkin because it was October time. Then the pumpkin had like 2 holes.
I'm dead.
And then you put like these
They put
bath
your
bombs
hand
in it. And then it came out blue.
Bath
yeah.
bombs?
Yeah, I don't know,
That's
some
the
kind of
most
bombs.
insane- I
Yeah.
think you did this wrong. This is the
No,
immigrant gender reveal party.
her friend did it.
Okay.
You know.
I think you just throw some bath bombs inside a pumpkin.
Then some shit happened.
Hey, blow up the pumpkin if it's blue.
Yeah, I was also like, bro, smoke coming out of our backyard. You know what I mean? But it's all right. We're American, you know.
American.
We're American.
Yeah, that's so funny that you had a gender reveal party.
Yeah, bro. We have one.
And then did people go, "Oh my god"?
Yeah, people were, oh my God. It was, you know,
Did anybody go, "I knew it"?
I will say, like, as you get older, any excuse for your parents to have a good time
That's true.
is really like
Nice.
fantastic.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
true.
my dad was having a good time,
That's
you know,
cute.
and my mom was having a good time.
That's nice.
Yeah,
It's so worth it for that.
Yeah, so
I'm gonna have a gender reveal party for my parents without even having a baby.
yeah,
now.
it's like
Fuck
just
it.
for that, it's like, all right, bro. We would have had a much worse time if we didn't do this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So fuck it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that.
Yeah.
That's great. Okay, Danish Maqbool
Mm,
of New Jersey
wow.
by way of Russian spies and shipping scams.
I'm gonna be investigated after this.
Yeah, exactly. Arranged marriages and gender reveal parties. Are you ready to play the poll questionnaire?
Oh yeah.
Then
I'm ready.
please hold this plant.
Wow.
No, you don't have to hold that plant, but you can.
Do you ever water this, or is it a fake one?
I don't know. Is it a fake plant, Tommy? Oh, I've
I'm
never
not holding no
watered
fake
it.
plant. If it was real, I would have given it love and care.
Okay. Danish, if you were president of the United States of America, what American food would you ban?
Well, there would be two. I would never let poutine in this country.
The guy or the fries with the sauce?
The fries
on it?
with the
Okay.
sauce.
What about Putin?
He could come through, talk to my dad a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Have a gender reveal party.
Yeah,
But Putin pops out of the
he
pumpkin.
actually fits right in into this country with the other leaders.
Exactly.
Yeah, so he'd
100%.
be happy.
Yeah.
Man, what food do I really not fuck with? You know, I just think like lobster
I agree.
is whatever.
Lobster is so gross, yo.
I've had it in Maine,
Nah. Ugh.
you know, in the best of circumstances.
No, same. I had that shit in Boston. The lobster roll. It's fucking $48. All it tastes like is butter. It's
Yeah,
butter.
yeah.
They fucking might as well just fucking douse you in butter.
$50 for butter.
And it's a bottom feeder. It's a fucking cockroach.
Yeah, it used to not be this like expensive thing.
No, because it's
and
nasty.
It's marketed now as a delicacy.
It has no nutritional value.
Yeah, and not that I ever look at that. You know, I would never look at nutritional value, but I don't fuck with. Yeah, bro, and if you have it in the best of circumstances, like I did, it's like, you know, you watch Michael Jordan play basketball, and basketball wasn't for you. You know, I had lobster
okay.
in Maine, and it
I
was
thought
not
you
for
watched
me.
him and then had lobster.
No, I'm just
okay.
saying, like I had it in Maine, it wasn't for me.
I would not
So-
agree with that. I would say that that's not what it is, because if you watch Michael Jordan was the best basketball player in the world. Lobster is not good food. It's like a conspiracy theory by a bunch of fucking like boat
No, it
shoe
was a bad
wearing.
analogy. You're right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I don't fuck with lobster.
All right. Okay. I wholeheartedly agree. Fuck lobster. Get lobster the fuck out of here.
Also, bro, those things are so in. I don't care
And the
about
way that they
humanity.
kill
I
them,
don't care
yeah.
about humanity, but just keep that shit away from me.
Yeah.
I don't want to see. You can have whatever the fuck is happening in the back. It could be the most inhumane thing. I'll eat it. It's fine. But I don't want to see it.
No.
Protect me.
Yeah. Have you ever heard a lobster scream?
Yeah, bro. Feed me ignorance, not death. You know? That's how I feel.
I love that. See, that's the Urdu poet coming out.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
All right. If you could deport one American person, who would you deport?
If I could deport one American and say this without being put on any sort of list, who would I deport? Man. You know, I don't even be really keeping tabs of like the names of these racist Americans.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
that's
just,
good.
it's like,
They don't take up space in your
yeah,
head.
I don't want them to take up space in my head. I
Mhm.
see what they do. I see who they are. Representative Tina or Kelly or whoever the fuck, you know what I mean? I see these white women that sell their souls to get up top, and so there's a lot of people that deserve this answer.
Okay.
So however, I would limit it to Jason Lefkowitz, who was my middle school bully.
Nice.
Fuck that dude.
I love that.
He was such a piece of shit.
Lefkowitz.
I think he's a state trooper now.
Oh shit.
Oh, this guy he was such a bad dude. You know what I mean? Like in his actions towards, like, he made me feel so small, you know, so that he could feel big.
What an asshole.
Classic little dick shit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
100%, of course.
So, and I use his full name. So I never liked this guy.
All right, I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, get him the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I would deport him.
That's what
for sure.
this is for.
Yeah.
I always say to people, why don't you say your landlord? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Deport some motherfucker who you fucking can't stand.
No, yeah. Hey, he was a racist, and I didn't like him personally. So it's like a double tap. You know what I mean?
He's out. I love that. Yeah. If you could add one amendment to the U.S. Constitution, what would you add?
Wow. I would add that if you made over a certain amount of money, you would have to donate it directly to some type of education fund.
Nice. I love that.
I don't think it would work. You know, I think it would be a bad amendment, by the way. I'm just putting that out there. I think this plan would fail.
Okay.
And it would make education something that people look to make money off of. But
which is already is.
Yeah, so it would just be more of that,
right.
You know. But I think, like, yeah, if I was Jeff Bezos, bro, I would definitely, like, want to, you know, invest in the kids in this country. Right. You know? For sure. And, like, these neighborhoods, because I've done stand-up all over the country. I've seen so many cities that should not have been seen, you know? And, like, they're doing bad in a lot of cities. Right. And it could, like, just, like, programs for kids to play sports together, to do more shit together, get off, you know, play music, right? You know, different things like that. Stuff, skill. We should be highly developed in terms of that. Yes, like the way crazy. Japan is, you know. Yeah. But we're not. We're just like we kind of gave up on, you know. Yeah.
What's the most Pakistani thing you've ever done?
I mean, listening to Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan on the subway on the way here is pretty good. Okay. You know, I always keep it pretty Pakistani. All right. I would say it travels with me everywhere I go. I watch Bollywood movies all the time. I'm obsessed with Zoya Akhtar and her movies. She's the new director. Okay. She made this movie called Gully Boy. People say it's a copy of 8 Mile, but it's based on a real story. So fuck the haters. Apna time aayega. You know what I mean? That means my time is coming. Oh, okay, I thought that means fuck the haters. No. Yeah, that's a quote from the movie. And so. All right, I love that. Yeah.
What's the most New Jersey thing you've ever done?
I would say just riding around hours for no reason. That's what we do in New Jersey. Aimlessly cruising. Just vibing out, picking up Dunkin' Donuts a few times a day. Oh, no. And, like, you know, my boy would make music when I was like 19, 20, and I was like the engineer and stuff. So we would ride around in the car while he was writing raps. And we were both Pakistani, and we were like just vibing out. Yeah, it was a cool time.
I love that. Yeah. Okay. Well, 2 more questions. Okay. If you had to come up with a catchphrase for the United States of America, what would it be?
Apna time aayega.
I love
means
that.
My time is coming.
Apna time aayega. Yeah. Okay. Last question. Very important question. I want a serious answer. Please dig deep for this one. Danish, do you know how I can meet David Hasselhoff?
Let's see. How old is he now?
I don't know. 60?
70?
70?
After a certain time, you got to go to Florida. So you could be in Florida.
He could be in Florida, yeah.
So
I'm
already,
going to Florida in January.
yeah, it's either in Florida or Hawaii. So you have 2 states you gotta look at.
All right. Okay.
That's it. You're going,
That's
and
it.
you're already going to one.
Maybe your dad has met him secretly.
Yeah, maybe my dad knows him. I can ask my dad for sure.
Could you ask your dad?
Yeah,
Okay.
because Hasselhoff
That'd be
does
nice.
sound Russian. Yeah.
I bet you your dad is like, oh, yes, that was during the time I lived in Malibu.
Yeah. Yeah, Danish, David Hasselhoff. That's how he sounds. He sounds crazy, dude. He sounds crazy. I called him today, and I hadn't talked to him in like a week or two, and which is normal for me and my dad. Even though I talk to my mom every day,
Uh-huh.
and I call him like, "Yo," and he goes, "Yeah, yo." And I'm like, "Hey, what's up?" He goes, "All right." And then I'm like, "Whoa, what you doing? You at work?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm over here." And I was like, "All right, I was just checking in." He goes, "All right." Then he just hangs up. I promise you that was the whole call. I was like, he hung up? Which he does that so many times, but
That's so
I love that man so much. Love my life, that guy.
That's great. I
Yeah.
love that. Isn't that nice? I mean, I think like the best thing that parents can do also is like set the kids free. Like, you know, those parents that like guilt trip you. Oh, why don't you call? La, la, la. It's so
Oh,
nice.
yeah.
Like that can be more of a connection doing that
Yeah.
than actually being like, what do you do? Like actually getting into it.
No,
Just like, hey,
it
what's
is.
up? Yeah, whatever. You know.
It is for sure. And when he went to Pakistan like 6 years ago, my mom told me this when she came back, but he was like, and I was only 4 years into stand-up. He's like, he told everybody that you do stand-up.
That's so
He
cute.
never told me that he was proud of that at all.
That's so
It's
cute.
like,
That's
it is
so
really, it is
cute.
really sweet. Yeah.
My dad will go to Germany and tell everybody that I am like selling out like Madison
Isn't
Square
it so
Garden.
sweet, bro?
It's sweet, but then at the same time, it's not because then when I go there, they're like, "We heard that you sold out the Beacon." I'm like, "That's not true." And then I have to be like, "That's not true." And then they're like, "Oh, so you're not doing that?" And I'm like, "What the fuck, Dad? Why are you doing this?" But yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it's
it is
funny.
sweet.
It's funny.
It's fun.
Danish, where can people find you online?
I'm on Instagram and TikTok
At Danish.
at DMAC1.
Okay, DMAC
DMAQ1.
1. And you're going on the road.
Yeah, but I haven't
On
decided
the
where.
road again.
I haven't decided where or when.
But you're doing it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. This set came out. Hopefully, more people will see it. I've been featuring for so many people for so many years. I've been with Mo Amer for 150 plus shows. I've been with Rami for a few tours. I've been with Hussein his last tour. I would love to just go out on my own tour, even if it's for like 100 people.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it'd be so much fun.
For sure.
I've been working on so much material, especially through what's happening right now. So it's like, yeah, I'm gonna go out on the road.
Cool. Everybody check out Danish's set, Don't Tell Comedy. You can find it on YouTube, obviously, but also on his Instagram. There's a link. Check it out. Watch it. Like it. Fucking comment. Send it to your friends. If you don't like it, send it to your enemies. What are you doing? Come
Send
on.
it to
Make
your
use of your
enemies.
fucking time somehow, Follow him. Check him out. DM him your favorite Dunkin' Donuts order. I don't know. That sounds like a horrible idea. You
No,
think
that
that's good?
works.
Okay.
Any kind of coffee talk. Any coffee talk.
Okay.
And thank you so much for having me. I had so much
thank
fun.
you so
dude.
much for being
I had
here,
so
yo.
much
This was
fun.
amazing. Thank you to all our patrons: Douchebag Steve, GOJT, Wesley, Lumi, Joe, Craig, everybody out there. You know who you are. And also send us your answers to the poll questionnaire. Send them to immigrantjam@gmail.com and I'll read them out. Give it up for Danish Maqbool. Give it up for Tommy, producer extraordinaire. Thank you for being here.
OG Zap.
We love you. Goodbye.